Swordsmachines. The Swordsmachine is a grounded, heavyweight, greater machine with 2 phases. When in phase 1, they can fire their shotgun for a spread of 12 25 damage pellets that can be parried, a combo of 3 parryable sword slashes for 25 damage each, and a parryable horizontal running swing for 40 damage. Once below a certain amount of health, they will enter phase 2, losing the ability to use their shotgun and gaining the ability to use a parryable sword throw, dealing 30 damage to the player and dealing 20 damage when parried back, and a sword spiral attack dealing 30 damage to the player that also deals 20 damage when parried back. Both attacks being melee parryable, but when parrying the sword projectile, it can only bring them down to a minimum of 0.1 health. When their sword attacks are parried, they will be stunned and become enraged. When enraged, they move faster, but can only use their combo and running swing attacks unless in brutal mode, where they can still use their shotgun or sword throw. They cannot be stunned by parries while enraged, though it ends when going into phase 2. Non-sanded sword machines will kill stalkers first before the player to become sanded. Common sword machines have 15 health per phase, totaling 30, but the Swordsmachine boss has 50 and 75 health for their phases, totaling 125 health. They take bonus damage from head and limb shots and can die from fall damage. They take 150% damage from shotgun pellets and 225% damage from shotgun parries, ending the fight in as little as 3 shots. Drones. A drone is a lightweight, flying lesser machine. They chirp when searching for the player until you enter their line of sight. They will dart around and charge a burst of 3 hell orbs that do 25 damage. The charge is melee parryable and the orbs are feedback or parryable. They only have 2 health, but when a drone runs out of health, they will try to run into you before detonating on contact with any object. The explosion deals 35 damage, but you can feedback or parry them to send them forward. They will already be sent forward if killed with a punch or hit from the impact hammer. Killing them with a punch after grappling them will give you the home run style bonus. You can also detonate them early by hitting them again or by killing them with an explosive. They take 60% damage from feedback or parries, but 200% damage from knuckle blaster punches. Their weakness and detonation make them a great tool for friendly fire. Streetcleaners. The Streetcleaner is a lightweight, grounded lesser machine. They will chase after the player until they're close enough to activate their flamethrower. They will launch an unparryable burst of flames dealing 20 damage per tick, or 0.5 seconds. This hits about twice per burst in standard, once in harmless, or infinitely in violent as the stream never stops while in range. They only fire horizontally until brutal difficulty, where they can aim 45 degrees upwards. They can parry explosives such as cores and rockets. They can dodge things like shotguns, whiplash, nails, saws, and shockwaves, with a 3-second cooldown every dodge. They are pretty tanky with 4.5 health, but take bonus damage from head and limb shots, and can be splattered, causing an explosion. They only take 50% damage from player explosions, but hitting the tank on their back with a revolver is an instant kill and creates an explosion. This weak point can be targeted by coins while the Streetcleaner is alive, but you can shoot it by yourself to detonate it after they die, as long as they haven't already exploded. All of these tank explosions deal 50 damage to the player or 5 damage to enemies, and they will die when submerged in water. Mindflayers. A Mindflayer is a heavyweight, flying greater machine. They float around and can teleport. They have 3 main attacks, a parryable melee attack dealing 30 damage, an unparryable beam that deals 35 damage and tries to move towards you, and a burst of 5 seeker orbs dealing 30 damage. While parrying is good against them, the large cluster may be a good incentive to use the sharpshooter or other explosive deflection. When a Mindflayer is out of health, they will stop for a second and curl up, before exploding, doing up to 50 damage to the player. While curled up, you can hit them with the knuckle blaster or impact hammer to launch them forward. Starting on violent difficulty, they will become enraged and teleport more frequently when down to half health. Mindflayers have 30 health and take bonus damage from head and limb shots, as well as taking 150% damage from shotgun parries. Finally, Mindflayers cannot teleport while a drill is attached to them. Sentries. A sentry is a grounded, medium-weight, greater machine. When they have a clear line of sight, they will stick their feet into the ground before preparing a 50 damage hit scan beam. The beam can be melee parried or charged back. They can be interrupted by a revolver shot to the antenna, knuckle blaster punch, shockwave, electric or malicious rail cannon, cannonball, or impact hammer hit. Or they will do an unparryable 40 damage kick if you get too close before they start aiming. Sentries have 12 health and take additional damage from head and limb shots, as well as 150% damage from shotgun parries. They are relatively weak and predictable, so rail coining, cannonball dunking, and chargebacks are all easy and quick ways to deal with them, but they do a lot of damage and can easily kill you if you aren't paying attention, especially on brutal mode where they can take you from 100 to 0 in a second. Guttermen. Guttermen are grounded, super heavy greater machines. They hold a large shield that can deflect attacks. While they hold the shield, they only take about 66% of the damage dealt to them. The shield can be destroyed with the Knuckle Blaster Punch or Shockwave, Impact Hammer, launched Mindflayer Corpse, or parried Landmine. This will also stun them for 3 seconds. Doing this guard break with the Knuckle Blaster or Impact Hammer will heal you to max minus hard damage. This will also enrage them for 10 seconds on brutal mode, stopping you from parrying them. When the player is in their line of sight, they will begin to fire their gun, rapidly dealing 10 damage per hit. The yellow hit scans can detonate explosives, but charging them back won't deal much damage, only seeming to do 0.5. And they try to stop firing while a coin is between them and their target anyway. They slowly aim at you, but while their line of sight is maintained, their tracking will speed up. This can be reset by leaving their sight, breaking their shield, or parrying them. When nearby, they can do an unparryable shield bash, dealing 35 damage. When their shield is broken, it's replaced with a parryable 25 damage punch. The regular Gutterman has 25 health, though the boss variant has 30, and they take bonus damage from head and limb shots, and can die of fall damage. They take 150% damage from shotgun parries, and weirdly enough 400% damage from Guttertank punches. When they die, they fall over, killing enemies caught underneath them. Their corpse can be slammed to create an explosion that deals 3.5 damage to enemies and launches you upwards. In Cybergrind, they will detonate instantly upon hitting the ground. Guttertanks. Guttertanks are grounded, heavy greater machines. They can fire a rocket aiming to predict your next location and dealing 35 damage. If the rocket does not hit directly, it will instead freeze in place before exploding. These rockets work similarly to your own, letting you stop them with a freeze frame, detonate them with hit scans, be pulled by magnets, or be ridden. While the freeze frame can freeze charge your own rockets, it will not charge the enemy rockets until you ride them. Unlike player rockets, they can be pulled to magnets even when not attached to an enemy. Hitting a Guttertank with their own rocket after riding it will insta-kill them. They can perform an unparryable 35 damage punch that will send you flying back. After a punch, the Guttertank can slip and fall over if they miss, or are standing in gasoline. In violent difficulty, only if they miss, and in brutal, only if they miss and are standing in gasoline. While they try to get back up, you can melee parry them. The fall deals 0.1 damage to the Guttertank, and gives you the slip style bonus if it kills them. They will try to predict when you will be in range by winding up a punch before you get near them. Due to the Gutterman's 400% weakness, Guttertanks can insta-kill them with a punch. Guttertanks can randomly place a landmine on the ground, more often when they cannot see their target. These mines jump upwards when you get close and explode, dealing 35 damage. When they are activated, you can parry them. If it hits an enemy, you get the served style bonus, but it gets upgraded to the land yours bonus when hitting the Guttertank that deployed it. The Guttertank has 23 health and takes 150% damage from limb shots with a revolver, and 150% damage from shotgun parries. V2. V2 is a grounded supreme machine. He is the boss of both 1-4 and 4-4, and has many abilities similar to yours. The color of his wings indicates how he moves. Yellow wings will make him run in a direction until they collide with something, upon which they'll pick a new direction. Blue wings mean that they will circle you, slowly getting closer. Once too far away, red wings mean that they will slide towards you before circling again. And once up close for too long, green wings mean that they will slow their attacks to back away. They will never do this while the player is below 33 health. Staying far enough away will fill the gauge under the boss bar, enraging them when full. When enraged, they are stuck using the red-winged moveset, cancel their slides earlier, move faster, and have no piercer beam cooldown. V2 will only return to normal once you are in range long enough. They are slower while stuck with a drill, and speed can be further changed depending on difficulty, distance, and player health. In both fights, V2 also takes bonus damage from head and limb shots, but only 60% damage from any revolver shots. Starting with the first encounter, they have 40 health and 4 attacks. A revolver burst where they can shoot 3 times, dealing 10 damage per shot. They will not use this attack while enraged. Often when far away, V2 will charge a piercer beam, dealing 30 damage. Both of these attacks are parryable, and when hitting a coin will create a red flash that will wait a second before hitting the player, dealing 15 to 30 damage depending on the coin's hit. If this is shot with a revolver, it will target V2 instead, giving the counter ricochet bonus. They can fire a parryable shotgun blast that fires 25 pellets that deal 25 damage, or a core that explodes dealing 35 damage and can be shot to detonate early. At this point, you don't have many weapons, but you can rely on coins and magnets to make aiming easier, and due to their speed, parrying the shotgun blasts can be a much easier healing method. Though by repeatedly punching coins, you can damage and even kill them before the fight even starts. Now on the second encounter, they have 50 health in the first phase and 30 in the second, totaling 80. You can now enrage V2 by punching it with the Knuckle Blaster. They now intentionally aim at coins unless enraged. They can now throw 3 of their own coins to shoot unless enraged. This works the same as in the first fight, and the beam can deal 15, 22, or 30 damage to the player depending on how many coins are hit. V2 now has the nail gun and can fire a small stream of regular nails or a wide spread of overheat nails that all deal 8 damage and can be pulled to the player's magnets. If a magnet is attached to V2, they will not use these attacks. Now there is also a second phase where both the player and V2 are stuck sliding down the pyramid for the remainder of the fight. This will stop V2 from using any of their movement options and stop both of you from jumping. At least now you have the rail cannons to ultra counter ricochet and heal with. The Earthmover. The 1000 THR Earthmover makes up the entire level of 7-4 and can only be destroyed by climbing it and taking out the brain inside. Before you enter, there's a security system guarding it which can be skipped by powering the crane. At the start, there are 2 rockets and the mainframe in the center. The mainframe is indestructible until all other defenses are destroyed. The rocket launchers will fire high-velocity enemy rockets, dealing 35 damage when detonating. They function similarly to the player's rockets, letting you freeze, hit, ride, pull, or detonate them as such. They have 15 health and can take 200% damage from headshots. After a rocket launcher is destroyed, 2 mortar launchers will pop up, firing parryable hell mortars into the air that create large 60 damage explosions upon hitting the ground, both having 15 health. If another rocket launcher or mortar is destroyed, 2 thin towers will appear and start firing homing seeker orbs, dealing 30 damage, and have 15 health and take 200% damage from headshots. Finally, the mainframe. It chases you with a 15 damage laser. When all other defenses are destroyed, its tracking will speed up and it can now take damage. It also has 15 health and takes 200% damage from headshots and explodes when destroyed. On brutal difficulty, all the defenses are activated from the start. After getting past them and climbing to the Earthmover's head, you will fight the brain. It has a force field that deals 10 damage to the player upon contact and has lasers spinning around it that cannot be dashed through. When the brain is at half health, it will start to fire giant 40 damage parryable seeker orbs. The brain has 100 health and takes 140% damage from deflected projectiles. When the meter below the health bar fills, it will summon 2 idols to bless it, making it invincible. The lasers are easy to avoid with slam jumps and dashes, and parrying the orbs does great damage and healing.